it's Vonnie here from Vombu Furniture Designs. Welcome back to my channel. I have here an antique gramophone cabinet. Now I picked it up at a really reasonable price because it does need a lot of work, but essentially, structurally, she is in really good condition. However, on the inside, the top lifts up to access the gramophone, and we have shelf space here, and at some stage somebody has altered the inside, probably to suit a more modern record player. So at this stage I don't know if I'm going to attempt to restore the inside. I'm going to concentrate mostly on the outside. This piece I'm going to use to apply one of Mint Michelle's latest new release papers, and I'm going to make her a little bit funky, a little bit pretty, but a little bit funky as well. So I just couldn't help myself when I saw the colours in, oh, upside down, this, oh, can you see? I just couldn't help myself. Look at those colours. Now she's called Pastel Love. Pastel Love. So, and I've got some other peony paper that I can put on the sides as well. But we're going to concentrate on these greens and the pinks, which are my favourites.
Okay, so for this front of the cabinet, we need a flat surface to put the decoupage paper on. So I'm removing the hardware, and then I'm going to remove that moulded detail. And then I'm going to apply some filler to that engraved detail that's there on the doors. This is Builder's Bog. It is fabulous stuff. It's better than wood putty in a way because it sets super hard. So it's a two-step process. It has this paste, and then you add the slightest bit, maybe a pea size of the hardener. Mix it together. Now you have to work rather quickly because it does set super hard within about 15 minutes.
It's really good for large gaps, and I find that it doesn't reactivate to water-based paints. Hi, I'm back, and as you see, I've made a little bit of progress without recording it, and I apologise for that. I'd mentioned before that there'd been some modifications done to its original state on the inside, probably to house a more modern record player, and I just wasn't happy that it was really untidy. So I have cleaned it up. I've made some other alterations in there that just look a little bit tidier, and I've given it this gorgeous paint job, and this is what I've used. It's Mint by Michelle's Roller Skate Pink, and this is going to look really great with the paper that I'm going to use on the front. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prep the doors for the decoupage. I've already put some primer on this, and I'm also going to put some on the sides because I'm going to put some other decoupage paper on the sides. So that's where I'm up to at the moment. Let's get to it. My personal preference for preparing the area
underneath where the decoupage is going is Mint by Michelle's Mint Grip Primer. So now to decide the placement of the paper. I've decided that I'm going to do that section up the top separately to the doors. So what I'm doing now is just some measurements to cut that piece off, and I'll tell you why I'm going to do this. Basically, I try any way to avoid putting the landscape design paper from top to bottom. So what I do is I put it on its side, and even though it's a landscape design which goes across, I like to put it on in portrait mode. So see here, I've actually taken the doors off, and I'm going to apply the paper lengthwise, not coming down the image, lengthwise. And the reason why I do this is the paper will wrinkle less in this direction. Now here's what I like to use for application: Mince Finish Shine, which is a top coat, a felt applicator, or some people call it vinyl squeegee, and this is the bag that the paper came out of. Oh, and a water mister. I like to explain my technique each time, just in case you haven't seen my previous videos. But what I'm doing is holding the paper in place while I apply about an inch of top coat, and then using the vinyl squeegee felt applicator, I'm securing that top piece of the paper. Now I'm coming in with the plastic. The plastic underneath the felt applicator will protect the paper from all this rubbing that I'm doing. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing out any air bubbles, any wrinkles, and any creases. So I keep going on with this process, just applying 1 or 2 inches at a time, working only 1 or 2 inches at a time. This is so I only have to deal with pushing out wrinkles and creases 1 or 2 inches at a time. I do mention 1 or 2 inches at a time a lot because, unlike any other decoupage paper or wallpapers, if you go ahead and glue the whole surface and try and get your paper down, you will end up with a big hot mess. But using my technique, as you will see, you will get a beautiful smooth finish. The excess paper that's hanging over the edge can become quite tight because it's not being stretched like the other paper. So tearing it and giving it a little mist will relax it a bit. So I've butted the other door up to the right-hand door. So when I bring the paper over, we'll have a seamless transition to the other side. I should actually mention that during the initial prep, when the doors are still on, to make sure that the doors are actually sitting correctly, they're not askew. So when you're taking the doors off to do the decoupage application like I am, you can be assured that when you put the doors back on that the image is going to sit properly. And here's another good thing to know. That crease there, that is from it being folded up in the packaging. will come out completely with this technique. So you do not need to pre-iron your paper. And this application has been really, really good. See, there is no air bubbles, there is no creases. There is the occasional spot that I have to touch up with paint, but I'm super, super happy with this. Now when it's fully dried, I go around the edges and sand off all the excess. This is also a good opportunity to make sure that all the edges are glued down. This is what I like to seal the paper with. It's a quick dry spray varnish. And the reason why I like this is because it is not water-based and it will not reactivate the paper. I just happen to have in my stash 2 A1 sizes of the Moody Florals. And there's Moody Florals 1 and 2. So this is the first one. Is that, I need to put my glasses on. I can't see if it's focusing. Can you see that? Yep. So, and the peonies in this actually work well with the peonies in the bird ones. So I'm thinking I'm going to use part of one on each side panel. So what I need to do is I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to cut it out to fit that space, but just leave myself a little bit on each side in case I go crooked, and then I can trim the base. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. That's looking really good already, don't you think? While the doors are still off, I still have a plan for them. So now I'm just going to go around the edges of the doors with this mix of green. It is Mint by Michelle's Time and Space Black and Roaring 20s, and it makes a really good match for this paper. Okay, now I've just had this idea, and it may not work because I haven't done it yet, to put a bit of raised stenciling down the bottom here. And I've got this stencil, which I have used for raised stenciling in the past, and it's worked out quite well.
but this is only a small space. So I don't know how it's going to go, but you know, it's only paint and I can always take it off. But first I'm going to have to make up some structure paste because I want the background texture to be the roller skate pink, and then I will go over the top with the green that I made up. So this is just an idea. So I've got a spare little container here, which I'm going to, no, not, I didn't want that one. Where's my other one? Here. And I'm gonna pour it in my container. Not sure how much I need, but I can always add more. Now, to thicken it and make it into a paste, I'm going to add some salt wash. So I can drop you down a bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I want it fairly thick, so I'll just put 1 spoon in it first, and then I want to mix it. I want it to be quite smooth. I don't want it too lumpy. This is like making the coloured pastes that some companies sell. If you don't want to buy lots of different coloured pastes, you can just make it out of the salt wash. I'm going to add some more because I want it fairly thick. So that's made it fairly thick. It could maybe be thicker. It does tend to thicken up after a bit of time. So now I'm going to pop you up a bit again so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to put some tape there. Right. And with this little spatula, I'm just going to, now, like I said, if it's not thick enough, it's just going to go mushy. But I don't necessarily need it to be perfect. There's a few because I'll probably stick. I have a feeling it's not quite thick enough. If it's not, I can wipe it off and start again. I'm just going to hold it place down. I wouldn't mind a bit of leaf on here. It's a bit messy. Now, let's just see what that looks like. I don't think it's too bad, actually. Because you can see some of the leaf designs in there. Yeah, it's not too bad. I might not go all the way down the legs. But what I like to do at every stage is to give that a bit of a wipe. So that's what I'm going to do now. And I can't really continue this until it's dried a bit, or else I'll squish it. So we'll just let it dry. Oh, look. looking too bad. See, you can actually see some leaves. And I might put another one coming down the leg there. But remember, it's going to be under a layer of paint. So I just want the texture to show through. So I think it might work. Now I've decided on the inside of the doors. So that's the bit that we put the decoupage on. This is the inside of the door, which is the same roller skate pink that matches inside of the cabinet. I've decided to put a stencil on it in a green, and Mint by Michelle has this lovely icy pole green, and I thought I might give that a go. So when we're stenciling, we just put a little bit on the end of the, this is a little stipple brush. It's quite soft, and we sort of wipe it off. So we just want a little bit on there, literally just the smallest amount. And then I like to dab. I start with a little bit of color and then I build it up. Because if you have too much on your brush, it'll just bleed underneath and you won't get nice defined lines in your stencil. Now I'm just going to do a little bit here and then lift it up, because I wasn't sure whether to go for the darker green or the bold, bright, light green. So I'm just going to see what that looks like. I think that'll be nice. Okay, as long as it doesn't look too yellow. Okay, we'll stick with that. I'll just give that a go all over. Okay, I have changed my mind. I thought the icy pole green's a lovely colour, but on the pink, it looks yellow. So what I've done is I've mixed a bit of icy pole green with Roaring 20s, and I get this nice colour, which is greenier than that. Can you see that looks a bit yellow? So I'm just going to go over what I've done with the new mix, and I think I'm going to be happier with that. You can swirl if you want, but yeah, this is definitely, it's like more green. Yes, I think that's better. I will just show you. Yes, definitely. I like that. Okay, I'll see you when I've done this. Oh yes, I am loving those colours together. Okay, I've got it back on its side again because I'm going to put this bit of paper on. This bit that I cut off here, and I need to just be very careful to match up the design, or the birdies will look a bit off. Now, so when we put this paper on, it's stretched as we put it on, so we're going to hopefully do the same amount of stretch so the design matches up. So I'm going to start pasting from the top this way. And it looks like it's gone on really well. Slight mismatch there, but everywhere else is good. And do you know what, even if there is a little bit of a mismatch there, we can fix it up with a bit of paint to make it look like the heads are attached properly. But no, that's good. I'm pleased with that. Just let that dry, and then I'll trim that edge there. But that's good, I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to take the doors back off again so I can finish off the painting. But I think with that pop of colour in there, that's going to look pretty amazing. Oh, don't want to take that off. These are the hinges that I've cleaned them, but I think they will look better gold. So I'm going to spray them gold. Before I put the main green colour on, I'm going to use the rest of this roller skate pink that we thickened with salt wash. See, it's quite thick now. This would be really best for the paste, but we're going to use some of it to just add a bit of texture to go underneath the green. So I'm just sort of randomly dabbing it on, like this. So I don't get pink on here, I can do that. So I'm just going to go around and do that. If you want like chunkier bits, And just add a bit more chunk. Like that. So I'm just going to do that all over, and then we can paint with the nice green. I've made this yummy green up. It's really, really dark, but it matches the paper well. And this is how I made it. With Mint by Michelle Mineral Paint Roaring 20s and a lot of Time and Space black. And so now I'm going to go over all the pink, and it may or may not need a couple of coats. I'll just see how it goes, but it's going over there nicely, and I'm loving that leaf effect under there. You can't see that well, so I'm just going to put this on everywhere. Covering so well. So I'll just do one coat and I'll see if that's enough. If not, I'll come back with a second coat. Good. I'll see you when that's all done. Okay, so I've got all the pink covered now with the very dark green, and I've just decided to add one more layer, and that is some black wax. And I don't know if you can see, it's only very subtle, but I've put it on this corner and up the side just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of depth. And I've buffed it off, so it's a bit hard to see there, but from where I'm sitting, it just makes that textured embossed design underneath. It actually makes it stand out a bit better. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do, what I do here. So it's just a matter of rubbing it in with a brush. And I don't really want it on there. Makes it super dark, and then with a cloth, soft cloth, I'm just going to rub it off. So it probably looks black where you are. Still looks really dark green. But that design is like really just popping out now. Can you see? Maybe I'll come up closer. Can you see? Just really pops out. And I'm just going to do a subtle ombre up there. Right. And then we'll be done. Well, this was a great demonstration of how a piece of mine can evolve. Change my mind a lot. You know, sometimes I have these initial ideas and they don't always work out. You know, you can have these ideas in your head until you see them. You don't know how it's going to look, but I believe she looks fabulous. I'm really pleased with the decisions I made and the colour choices. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I would love you to like, share and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please just pop them in the comments. If you would like to see more of my work, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching.